Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome to the show. I'm gonna run the intro real quick. I don't know what the hell is going on with my system, but we are going to work things out. Hopefully, everybody can hear me, they can see me. Give me a one in the chat if you can hear me, you can see me. Then we will. Oh, okay, let's go. Get this light the fires, kick the tires, and get this bad boy rolling. You couldn't be with anyone. I couldn't be with anyone. You're here with me.
You couldn't be with anyone, I couldn't be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
All right. Welcome to the show. Very excited to be here. Have to move some things around so that they make a little more sense. All right. Hopefully, you guys had an opportunity to take a look at the poll because the way things have been working out as far as the Sister Wives season so far has been going, and we're going to talk about how things are going and where I think things are going, the direction things are going in. We're going to, so that we're very clear. We're going to discuss those things. But the poll right now, hopefully everybody saw the poll, had a chance to answer the poll. Go ahead, hit that like button while you're answering the poll. What are your thoughts on tonight's episode? Sister Wives is back, baby. That's 12%. 12% of you are excited about Sister Wives being back. Think it's back in like full strength. This episode turned the whole season around. That's okay. We're in season episode 6 out of prospectively like anywhere from 16 to 20 episodes that they run for a season. So we're almost at the halfway mark. So if they're going to do it, they need to pick it up and get it done. 37% of you said same as watching grass grow. Like, it's not exciting. Nothing is going on. It's boring as hell. So 36% of you said that. It's switched to 36, which is pretty significant. TLC interns, that's a significant number. 51% of you so far have replied, it's more of the same. That's also not a good number, TLC intern. So you guys gotta let the folks at TLC know that this is not it's not hitting, it ain't slapping like it used to. See, because the thing is, if people kind of see it as the same, they don't see any changes. They feel like, been there, done that. And especially if they're talking about a television program that they're watching, what that encourages them to do is stop watching, watch something else, find something better to do with their time, or sleep. Because some of us, this is like a late night. Thank you, TLC, once again for that dumb shit, that dumbass decision, where I could only watch Sister Wives starting at like 10 o'clock at night. What are we doing? Go back to the way it was before. Put it on Discovery Plus. Put it on Max, HBO. Let people who pay for those subscriptions, especially Discovery, you have a partnership with Discovery. Let people who have those partnerships be able to watch the damn show whenever they choose on Sunday. It comes out Sunday, have it available 10 o'clock in the morning, Sunday afternoon, or Sunday morning. So people can watch it when they want to. And I can put this a little earlier. That way folks can actually enjoy it without having to worry about Monday morning. How about that? I mean, it's just inconsiderate as hell. But Ty said it's because this is a nursing home show. Oh man. What you trying to say, Ty? Trying to hurt my feelings. All right. Yeah, I broke down a lot of this episode into more coherent parts. Just because, it was the way they're kind of structuring it too, and this is how you know it's a little light in the loafers, is because the way they structured it, so much of it is all over the place. All right. So much of this is just like they start here, they start talking about County Pass, and they go talk about something else, and they talk about something else, then they go back to County Pass, and like it's just and from its inception, I will say this: TLC, especially on Sister Wives and other shows like Seeking Sister Wives, even 90 Day Fiance, and even unexpected. They are phenomenal for screwing around with the timelines. Did you ever notice that? Like things that you would think that it all happened, and they could say like, "Oh, it's because we're trying to create cohesion in the storyline or whatever." Yeah, I kind of get that, but it doesn't make sense that you're flipping and flashing us to different parts of the same subject matter. So if things happen at a distance of time, why do you separate some things and other things that will happen like almost a year apart? You guys put right next to each other like it's the next day. But if you have a conversation, say with Cody, Robin, or Cody, Mary, and Janelle on one day, on day 3, after that conversation, Mary meets with Jen, and all of a sudden it's like we're going to pretend like that was months ago, or we're gonna separate, bifurcate it and put it in like 2 different places. Like I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know. It's just like I said. It's confusing that way. It's hard for the people to nail stuff down. But let's take a look. See what we got going. What we got ripping. Let me kick in my comments. All right. Yeah, Kathy Ferran said TLC is feeding us lies and bull. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that because I think that is a very good point. TLC is doing us no favors. So here we go. All right, we have 236 in the live so far. So if you guys could hit that like for me, I'd appreciate it. Let's see, make sure my chat health is good, because otherwise it'll do some old skippity doo dah day foolishness. All right, so here's where we are. Oh wait, what the heck? Sorry about that. I'm having a weird night. All right, so here's where we are. Let's talk first. Let's talk about the big, 5-year-old issue of Coyote Pass and where we are with that whole discussion. First things first. 25% of Coyote Pass. 25 for each of the 4 people. Christine is getting 0. Mary is getting 25. Janelle's getting 25. Cody's getting 25. Robin's getting 25. So there's a couple that get 50. That's fair. And I also like how during the course of this, they kept talking about, we're going to be fair and this is what we need to get done. Cody is talking about after we finish this, it should be completely done. No more financial ties. Everything should be over. It should be great. Blah, blah, blah. Here's my thing. We saw in real time what the problem with the entire Coyote Pass discussion, what the problem has been. What the problem has been from the very start is something that Robin said during the course of Cody saying, "Oh, I'm going to meet with Mary and Janelle. We're going to talk about Coyote Pass and this offer that came in. Do you want to be there? Do I have to be there? I guess you don't. That means that Cody gets to take care of it." That is the problem from the very beginning of Coyote Pass. You guys sat at home. You let Cody go off and do what he want to do behind everybody back and do his own thing. And that's why you're sitting here begging for 25% of a lot that you probably paid more than 50 to 60% of by yourselves. Mary and Janelle, if you've added what they gave Cody and Robin for the McMansion, Cody's house, everybody calls it Robin's house, bump that, that's Cody's house. what they gave Cody for Cody's house, and I say it's Cody's house intentionally because if we spool everything out, we game everything out, let's be very honest. Neither Janelle nor Mary gave Robin their house money from Las Vegas. Neither of them women said, you know what I need to do? I need to give this money to Robin to make Robin happy because she's so manipulative. That's not what happened. They gave the money to Cody, and Cody used it, and he blamed Robin for, oh, Robin needs a house and a place to stay, and I got to house her kids because I'm thinking about the kids. Meanwhile, they got a kid staying in an RV. Everybody else kids staying in rental houses. Christine was the only one who had kids who decided to buy her own house, insisted upon it. That's why she was able to get her own house, because she wouldn't have moved. She would have sold the house in Vegas had he not bought her a house out there in Arizona. And the other two women should have took the same position, but they didn't because they trusted Cody. And more importantly, this word keeps popping up. They wanted Cody to be fair. The one thing that I always tell my kids when they were coming up, fair is what you pay to get on the bus. Fair is that event that the county have that would have had like the creepy people who you probably wouldn't even have, cut your grass. All of a sudden they operating rides and stuff. And as soon as one of them bad boys goes off the rails, they had that whole shit packed up and moving before the damn cart hit the ground. That's the fair, the county fair, right? Go get your face painted, go get some balloons and some hot dogs, go and put you on the toilet for 2 weeks. That's the fair. That's the only real fair that exists in life. There is no fair. Because when Robin said, I only want to do what's fair, it's relative. Because Robin, fair would be for you to come up off some of that house money. But Cody already gave up the game when it came to that. Because he said the only reason why we're even considering selling Coyote Pass and we're even motivated to sell Coyote Pass is because we need the money for the new house. They're not selling Coyote Pass because they want to be fair to you, because they want to make sure that you get your money so that way you get paid out for your contribution and the time that you spent with the family. No, they want to give you a little bit of pittance of what they actually owe you so they can get rid of you, so that they can take that money and put it towards something that they need and they want. If Cody and Robin could have bought that house without selling Coyote Pass, they would still own Coyote Pass. And you guys would still be begging him to list it, still begging him to put your names on properties, still begging him to do what's fair. Let's recognize the game for what it is. You guys are getting played with. They playing with you. They playing in your faces. And we're sitting here watching it as an audience. We're sitting here watching these dudes, these two jackasses playing your faces. And it's to the point where it's insulting to the audience because I feel like they playing in my face. Like they trying to say stuff that makes sense when I know it doesn't make sense. Then they came in with the whole bull crap about Cody telling created this conversation that he had with Janelle where she just basically said, oh, you totally paid me back for all the money that you gave me for the house. You gave that back to me. When did you give that money back to Janelle? That's what I want to hear. I want them to talk about it. And this is something that's not going to come. I guarantee you, this is something that will not come up during the course of the tell-all. Toki ain't gonna ask about this problem, even if she wanted to. Sakina will be like, hey, I want to talk about the money that you pay back Janelle. Well, I don't want to talk about money or sex because, we have borders and we don't want to say something that's going to make folks feel uncomfortable. So we're not going to talk about that. You don't want to talk about it because no matter how you try to break it down, unless you pulling out receipts, that shit, nobody is buying that you gave Janelle back the money that she put into your house so that you and Robin, more to the point, Cody, could get that house that he had, the McMansion. And you guys sold the McMansion so that you could buy the shit show chateau. So there's or the Cinder Palace, as somebody dubbed it. There's no way you're going to be able to give Janelle her money back. And as Janelle said, this is one of the things she said, what I've been saying the whole time. I appreciate you. First off, I want to make sure I give a shout out, huge shout out to Janelle, who said something that I've been saying on the channel. So clearly she's watching the show. Hello, Janelle. Hello, Maddie. Hello, Caleb. Congratulations, Maddie. And Cody also said something that I've been saying on the show. So I also want to welcome Cody and Robin. Thank you guys for patronizing. Maybe you guys could say a few words. Get on this damn stream or call in so you can defend yourselves against some of my my commentary. But the whole idea of you guys being fair, it's relative. Fair to Robin is not going to be fair to anybody else on the planet. Fair to Robin is, oh, we gave him a little 25% after we had a whole full $500,000. Well, technically they spent almost $900,000 on Coyote Pass. On top of the money that they put on the Coyote Pass, still writing checks for Coyote Pass to pay for all the rest of the lots. Still writing checks. On top of that, they turned around and they said, we're going to give you money so you can buy your house. So on top of the $900,000 that Mary and Janelle paid in to the family to purchase Coyote, help pay for Coyote Pass, on top of that money, they kicked in more money so that you guys could get into the McMansion. Make the shit make sense. I already gave them their money. Okay. Like I said, they playing in our faces. One of the things that just annoyed me with this whole couple things annoy me with this whole conversation. Really, the whole conversation annoys me. First thing, Cody coming in talking about isn't that like the whole thing with Cody was the problem that he had was Cody was always too busy, according to him, to doing things by himself. Like he was always running around, taking care of stuff, running around, titling the shit in his name. So he's the sole owner basically of the entire property. Not sole owner, but he has a majority share in all the properties so that he basically is the one who can drive it. Mary and Janelle are only on some of the properties. Every time they call in and try to get the ball rolling, he's been pushing them off, and they call and he doesn't want to return their calls. He said he was too aggravated, too frustrated, and too pissed off to deal with them, so he didn't want to return their phone calls. If you guys remember that, this was all last season. He was talking about that. He was talking about that actually when Janelle was living in the trailer. He said, she wants me to do a whole bunch of stuff for her, but she don't want to buy Christine's house. I ain't trying to do nothing for her. I'm not trying to help her. But his name is on everything. They can't do shit without his approval. Mary made a good point tonight, something I've been saying as well. She can't go to that land and start taking stuff down and cutting down trees and cleaning shit up. That's trespassing. She has no legal right to do that. You know why? Because her name isn't on shit. We all say it's not fair that she shouldn't be able to be on stuff and she should own some of the land. She doesn't own any of that land. She owns like 1/3 of one parcel of that property. So they didn't have the ability to do it. The titling, I don't, for the life of me, why in the world would you put this property up for sale without the title being done first? You get the title and stuff done first, where you rearrange the title, you do the names and have all the appropriate signatories all on one piece of property so that when you put the property up and you get an offer, they can accept that offer and they don't have to do any, there's no time crunch. That doesn't make any sense. So either one, you guys are still messing up financially, or I don't know what your attorneys are doing if they didn't tell you to straighten this up first, or you guys are creating another storyline that makes you look dumb as hell. So, I mean, there's that. The thing that kind of pissed me off, wait, hold on, let's YouTube is my time machine with the $5 super chat. Said, not to mention Mary's lot was paid off and she still handed over a check to pay it off. Right, right. How much is my balance? Yeah, that balance is zero. So how much do I owe you? Oh, 25% of the property. What am I doing? What am I doing? Playing in our faces. Playing in our faces. But it's fair that we only gonna give you 25%. Y'all taking a cut. Y'all stop putting, you should have stopped putting money in after bad money. You should have told them we already gave you the money. Why was Janelle writing the check if you guys settled up the money? Why didn't you just take it out like you were going to do with Christine, Cody? When Christine was talking about selling her house, he said, you sell your house and deed it over to us, then we'll sell Cloudy Pass and we'll give you the money, and then we'll work it out and we'll be switching and changing and flipping and flopping the money that way. Why didn't you do that same thing with Janelle with the money she owed you? You owed her for the house, the McMansion. Why don't you say, no, Janelle, don't write us a check. Mary, don't write us a check because you guys gave money up. So we're that'll make us even. Cody's like, I works extra hard and I put in extra monies to Janelle. I was putting money on the books. What, the child support stuff? That when you went down and took Savannah down and baby buy some school clothes, you said, yeah, that's probably about what your house costs. you took her to Marshalls and TJ Maxx or some shit. that's probably about $100,000 worth of house. I bought you 3 notebooks from Walmart. Ridiculous. But thank you so much. YouTube is my time machine. Yeah, so they had the whole the conversation that they had on the computer. Cody's on there trying to joke around and be funny and cheerful. And, you guys hear any good jokes? Hey, what's going on, Mary? Hey. Oh, look, you got a doggy. Hey, doggy, how you doing? This is the craziness. This is the craziness. And the women played it perfectly. I'm not here. I wish the only note that I would give both of them is that instead of sitting there even playing around with him and doing the whole conversation thing where you're actually pretending like giving him the cold shoulder, I wish one of them would have just said, look, I don't have a lot of time. We called to talk about Cloudy Pass. Can we talk about Cloudy Pass, please? Let's just get that business done. And if somebody wants to stay on after we finish talking business, then we can get in a jokey joke. But while there's money on the table, while we discussing our money, especially if I don't trust your ass, we ain't joking. There ain't nothing funny. Because the last thing I think of the Money Pit, there was a movie with Tom Hanks and I forget the young lady's name. But it's basically they go to this beautiful house, right? And it's too good to be true. And this married couple is walking around like, look at these marble floors. And they're like, this is beautiful. For the price that we have, it's a steal. He said, yeah, but we're going to take it with us. They get out back. Look at this beautiful Olympic-sized swimming pool with a fountain. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, man, this is beautiful. Yeah, but guess what? We're going to take it with us. And they went through the whole house. Look at these mahogany floors and this, that, other. Oh, yeah, we're taking it with us. When they moved into the house, lo and behold, they took everything they said they was taking with them. When the couple went back and said, oh, you said you took all the house, you stripped the house down to the studs. It's ridiculous. It's like a shell of a house. You know what the guy did? He played the recording of him saying that he was going to take everything. And just because he was laughing, he wasn't joking. So, yeah, when I'm sitting there talking business, I'm not sitting there trying to joke around with you and laugh and kid and what? Tell some jokes. Well, Janelle's trying to say, well, I got little kids in the house. They don't tell good jokes. Well, I got kids. They tell some funny jokes. Look, I don't give a shit, bro. I'm not here to talk about your kids because as soon as we get to talking about your kids, then you open your kids up for discussion. It's like if you calling out of work or you got some issues at your job, you're at school, you don't bring your family into it because when you bring your family into it, you make them the subject of a discussion. And unless you're prepared to sit there and discuss and rationalize and reason why you doing what you doing for your family and why you taking off and why it's important that you take off for your kids' graduation and why you can't come to work on that particular day, unless you're ready to have that discussion with your boss, look, I just need off. I have the time, I have the PTO, you know what I mean? I want the day off. I got vacation days, sick days, whatever it is. I'm sick, yeah, I gonna make it. Wow, what's wrong with you? You ain't a doctor. What I'm telling you for? It's not up for discussion. Because if I tell you what it is, then we can talk about it. Cody don't want to talk about his kids. He asked them what's going on with them. What's going on with you? Anything new? I don't know, Cody. What's going on with you? I don't recognize the room you're in. Where'd you move to? Oh, I don't want to talk about that. Then fine. Let's talk about what we called in to talk about. Right? So you had that whole thing. Then you had the Cody complaining, oh, these women, they expect me to do it all. Yeah, because you put your name on everything. You said it was your property. You said that you was one all excited about spearheading. You put your name on everything. Now you have to undo all the bullshit that you did in order for you to get rid of the property in a reasonable and equitable state. So that way they don't turn around and try to sue your ass. And that's the only reason, to me, in my opinion, the only reason why he's even considering trying to give them 20% is because he's afraid that they're going to try to sue his ass. So that's the only reason why he's even playing with the idea of giving them 25%. And then Robin with that bullshit, and we'll go into the next subject matter. Robin with that bullshit, and I said bullshit. Yes, I did. Oh, they keep acting like Cody not gonna be fair. I mean, on his bad days, he might talk about some stuff, but he's a good man and he wants to be fair. He's a good man. He wants to be fair. Here's the thing, jackass. If he wanted to be fair because he's a good man would have put their names on the shit from the beginning. A good man would have made sure that everybody had equal stake and equal property all the way around, because we're doing this together. That's what a good man do. What a good man don't do is try to give people that he doesn't feel like he can control the least little bit of control, like least little bit of say in a property that they're investing in as an equal partner. That's not what somebody who is trying to be fair does. That's not what a good man does. And maybe that's part of the problem. You know, because we'll get into it as we talk about like the relationship stuff later on. But that's part of the problem. Maybe Robin just don't know what a good man is. She ain't seen what a good man do. She don't know what a good man could do to you, for you, or help you out, or the relationship that you would have. She just think that if Cody's not screwing her, he's a good man. And that, to me, that's ridiculous. We had Brittany Not Brittany in the house with the $1.99 super chat when Cody said he should have had a say about David. How about that? We're going to get into that shit because that's crazy. That's crazy talk. We're going to get into that. And that might run my blood hot. So stay tuned. But thank you so much, Brittany. Crazy. Let me turn this down a little bit. Had a whole house up. But thank you, Brittany. Yeah, that was crazy. Oh, wait, we had another one from Brittany. Brittany Not Brittany with the $4.99 super chat. He pre-ordered Sister Wife for Janelle and was like, happy doing business with you. Happy doing business with you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your service. You know what I mean?
Don't you?
I got to contact the lady, see if they want to come back up. Oh, wait, we got another super chat from Megatron. $5 super chat. I bet Cody. Wait, hold on. I bet Cody bargained to let Janelle have G's estate without contesting his. Oh, shit. I bet Cody bargained to let Janelle have Big G's estate, Garrison's estate, without contesting as a trade-off for what she put in the house, and she agreed out to have it. What a marshmallow. Oh shit. That actually makes sense. Megatron. Cheers. Well, Megatron, for those that don't know, when Cody was talking about, because he did the same shit with Christine, when he said, yeah, I own like that part of the land because I put my money on that part of the land. So I bought that. That's my land. That's what he was talking about. Christine's house. When she cut him out of the house because he didn't put any money towards the house, and the money that he put in as a down payment, she paid back to the family, basically gave him a check, because he's the family. So he essentially got paid twice off the same investment. So he gave money to Christine to help her buy the house. Then Christine gave money to Cowdy Pass to help buy that land off when she sold her house, and then she paid the money back. And then because she didn't give him 50% of her share of her home that she bought in Arizona, all of a sudden that was Cody's property. But that tracks Megatron. That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. That when Garrison passed, he owned a home. And Cody didn't contest that ownership or that will that Janelle becomes the administrator. And I think she was the only one who took from that house, who received money from the house. So yeah, Cody's saying it like, look, I won't contest the house or stick you up for Garrison's house, a house I had nothing to do with, for a kid I didn't support. And in exchange, you just don't come after me for Robin's house. Cold-blooded, but that's what we talking about, because he's fair. But good point. Oh shit. Let me give you a little something. Yikes. It's a great point. Then we had Negla 3 in the house with the $2 super chat. I miss my take fam. I'm here. Welcome, my Negla. We missed you. Hopefully everything is going well. Hopefully everything is awesome. All right. So next up, let's talk about wait, hold on one second. Sorry guys. Make sure you hit that like. Where is my can't find my chat. Hold on. Pop out. 1 second. There we go. Let's take a look at the results. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's gotten worse. So what are your thoughts on tonight's episode? Sister Wives is back, baby. 11%. Is back. More of the same. 44%. Same as watching grass grow. 45%. Damn. Oh, I'm gonna leave that open for a little bit. TLC interns, make it happen. You guys need to hit the button. Oh, baby. Let's see. Lizzie B with the $5 super chat said, Cody, a man that said your land portion was worth how many births? You've had Cody, a man has said that your land portion was worth how many births you had. Damn. He better stay on that Brown Island and get. Yeah, you know what? If he said that shit, that is crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. And technically, not even to be an asshole, but wouldn't it be like brown births? Because that would be Christine and Janelle. 6 apiece. Robin had 2. Mary had 1. So if you're gonna be an asshole, I don't understand what game we're playing. Now, ideally, you should take the kids and treat all the kids fairly and the same. But let's be honest, fair. He's not even taking care of his kids. the kids that he had, the kids he's responsible for. So the idea that all of a sudden he's going to be responsible for some kids from somebody else is kind of a little twisted, little twisted T up in this joint. Let me give Lizzie B the Mega Mile a little something, something. So we got Lizzie B and Brittany, not Brittany. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you holding down the chat. All right, but let's get into some of this other foolishness. So, where was I at? So we talked about Cloudy Pass. Let's talk about this relationships, trust, and betrayal. You know, Christine's show is basically what we're seeing. Because, like I said, this entire season is essentially them trying to roll out sample pilots of what potential spinoffs from Sister Wives would look like. So Christine, Janelle, it will be her down there talking with her kids. Mary will be her dealing with Jen and talking about relationship stuff, most likely. Robin and Cody, it would be them sitting around pontificating whether they want to be monogamous or whether they want to dip their toe back in the polygamous waters that nobody really wants to see. And to be honest with you, there is no path for them to be able to do it. Then, of course, you have Christine's show. And Christine's show, as I'm discovering, and I kind of suspected, but it's starting to become more and more pronounced. Christine's show, what is it going to be about? Christine discovering monogamy. And I don't know how exciting that shit really is. Like, because it's one thing, it might be something that's interesting from the perspective of somebody who maybe never experienced it before. Like, if you're part of the AUB, you grew up polygamy, you're living polygamy, and to watch how the other side lives, or somebody who's been in polygamy now doing monogamy and how they're treating it, that might be interesting to you. But for the rest of the free world, I don't know how interesting it's going to be when she's discovering basic shit. You understand what I mean? Like, the whole idea of, oh, it's different because I don't have to compete against anybody. Most women who have a husband or a boyfriend, or a man who has a wife or a girlfriend, or a girl who has a wife or a girlfriend, a man who has a boyfriend or a husband, whatever. In those scenarios, if they're living more of a monogamous pairing, they don't struggle with that at all. And they've been doing that since they've probably been in high school. And when somebody, high school, maybe even middle school, right? Junior high. So when things happen and maybe their person wasn't being, faithful or exhibiting a fidelity in their relationship, and they were cheating and they were being forced into like a plural type situation and they didn't like it, usually they left because their expectation was that they were going to be committed to one another. Christine, like, constantly saying, like, it's amazing, like, I don't have to worry about another man when I'm with you, David. Like, I don't have to beg for attention. You shouldn't have to beg for attention. And to be honest with you, it might be new and fascinating to Christine, but this is one of the reasons why people looked at her and kind of second guessed her decision to marry David so quickly, because of the fact that a lot of the stuff that she's so amazed by and so intrigued by is basic stuff. Like, you don't get brownie points because your husband or your boyfriend isn't going out trying to pick up the damn waitress when you go to restaurants. Like, you don't get extra credit because you call to make sure your wife is okay. You're like, she's coming home late and you aren't home. You call in to make sure that she gets home, or she's she's out doing whatever she's doing. You making sure she's getting to where she go. Like, that's basic stuff. Like, your problem was, like, it's not even so much like, now, again, I'm trying to be very respectful of your polygamy, but your polygamy in a monogamous world, especially the way you ran your family, as far as we could see, it wasn't that you were a full wife. You were just a girlfriend. Like, I've seen people who have multiple girlfriends or multiple baby mamas. They didn't call themselves polygamists, but but they just kind of accept that the other people exist. It is what it is. You know what I mean? You got a co-parent. And that's kind of what you guys were doing. You were like, baby mamas with benefits. So it kind of was what it was. But so that's kind of an idea where I think Christine's show is at. But during that whole conversation, like they talked about, Christine presented the idea of them doing a family reunion. This is where I'm kind of checking out. This is where I'm like, check, please. Because the idea that you guys, okay, fine, it's been about 3-4 years since you guys broke up, maybe 4 years at this point, 4 or 5 years at this point that you guys been broke up. But where you are now, sitting there talking, it doesn't make sense for you guys to be trying to jump back in and do a family reunion. Just be able to go to family events without cussing each other out. Instead of y'all trying to figure out how you going to get all together and have a party, just try to be in the same space without acting like ass. That's enough at that point. And then Christine throws out the whole, like, floats the idea of David and Cody being best friends, like buddies or whatever, and hanging out. Maybe you guys can hang out. You really enjoy each other, and you guys can hang out and stuff. What? Why would David want to hang out with your ex? That doesn't even make any sense. Why would he want to hang out with your ex? Be buddy with your ex? I mean, sure, they got to be able to talk and they got to be able to get along or whatever the case may be able to sit in a room with each other, maybe even have a conversation. But they don't have to be friends. You don't have to be friends with everybody. What is this? Like, this is that fantasy shit that kind of annoys me. Like, you don't have to be everybody's friend. Like, fine, you got kids together. You guys have to be respectful and mindful of each other and be able to deal with each other when it comes to your kids. But you don't have to be friends. You don't have to call each other, sit there and try to watch football games together, spend an inordinate amount of time together. All you got to do is be able to make a way for him to be able to see truly. Like, that makes sense to me. And her sitting there talking about, I love you guys can become friends because Cody's the good man. Cody's the good man. This is the part where I look at that statement, and if I want to be all the way honest, especially in light when I find out somebody's dishonest, it's very hard for me to trust them, or I look at everything that they say moving forward. And recognizing the fact that you guys have been lying this entire time about your relationships, how good they've been, how bad they've been, how long they've been good, how long they've been bad, that kind of thing, and presenting to the American people that this is so wonderful and it's an alternative lifestyle, and you guys should be like us because we're different. We're not like the polygamists that you've heard of when you're exactly like the polygamists that we've heard of. That's exactly what you guys were going through is exactly why people don't like polygamy. I don't say don't like polygamy, but don't like the opportunity of living a polygamous lifestyle for themselves. It's not that they have something against polygamists or polygamy. It's just that they just feel like it doesn't work. And you guys presented that. And they feel like you guys, when people say that it does work who are involved with it, that they spend most of their time lying. And that's exactly what you did on this show. It's a textbook case of you guys presented that polygamy was gosh awesome. But then, you turn around and it's been terrible the entire time that you've been presenting to us that it's awesome. Everything that we said was wrong with polygamy, you guys demonstrated it. So when she says Cody's a good man, when I've been watching 20 some odd seasons of him not being a good man, not being a good husband, not being a good father, then all of a sudden Cody's a good man. Are you saying he's a good man because he's a good man? Or are you saying he's a good man because TLC came to you and said, look, we can't keep selling the show because Cody's getting tired of being a bad guy all the time. And it's harder for us to convince him to keep doing the show without giving him a pay bump because he's tired of being a bad guy. He wants to be the good guy for once. So we need you guys to start saying that he's a good man. And is he a good man because you got yours? Because these other two women are still getting screwed. Like your friend is still getting screwed. There's a possibility he's going to screw her over. That's not shit a good man does. So I'm curious as to what you're referring to. He's friendly. He's charismatic. Just because you got riz doesn't mean you're a good person. Just because you can talk to people doesn't mean you're a good person. You know why? Because psychopaths and sociopaths can have great conversations with people. They can have wonderful conversations. They can be charismatic and have awesome conversations with people. You just don't want to be, you don't want to be at their house when the lights go out. You don't want to drink nothing from them. You know what I mean? That's how you wake up in the hole. It puts the lotion in the basket. You know what I mean? So people can be charismatic who mean you ill. That doesn't make them good people. And Christine, at the time, while she's saying that he's a good man, she's at that time, while they were filming it, I think she's still fighting a damn custody and child support case with this good man. The good man who's not taking care of his kid. The good man who can't find a way to see his damn daughter. But he's a good man. And you sound like you're more interested in your boyfriend or your husband meeting and being friends with your ex than your daughter having a relationship with a father. Because you talking to David like he need to get on the bus and get on the road, go down to Arizona and start hanging out with Cody, take him out to Moab, to one of your bed and breakfasts, and he spend the weekend out there and they jump on the razor and ride each other around and have a great old time. But are you running your daughter out there like that? Are you talking to him about spending time with your daughter? You know what I mean? Force your husband to spend time with Cody if he's spending time with your daughter. If he's doing what he needs to do for your daughter. But if he ain't doing what he needs to do for your child, I don't know why you trying to put somebody who had nothing to do with his ass, for real, the two of them in the same room. Unless it's for the TV show. Unless it's for TLC. And again, this goes back to the whole thing. It's not genuine. It's not honest. It makes no sense. I don't think that you're being, magnanimous because you're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to have my ex-husband hang out with my new husband and they're going to be brother husbands. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. I know it's a joke. But why would you even put them in the same realm? If you have a guy who's doing the right thing by you and you had a guy that screwed you over every chance he got, why would you insist that these two you would have a lot in common. That's for the TV show. Oh, I don't want to go. So if I'm with my wife, I'm with my wife. Why would I go hang out with somebody who used to sleep with her? First off, let's put it on a day. Why would I want to hang out with somebody who used to bang her? Oh, it wasn't that good. I don't give a shit. He saw you naked. Why would I want to go hang out with that guy and be best buddies with him? I mean, I could give a shit because I accept the fact that my wife had a past and, I had a past, But I'm not sitting there trying to make friends. Like, you need to hang out with Barbara Jean because she know how to shake it. That's not a thing. So you want the two of them to hang out, but you don't want to hang out. He's such a good man, you're going to put your husband with him, but you can't even be in a room with him. Cody was talking, not according to this. It must have been like a few months ago prior to this. He couldn't even say your name. So why would the two of them ever hang out? Like I said, it's something the show is pushing. And I'm pretty sure I got to check the chat, but I'm pretty sure somebody wrote down there that Christina to confess that TLC had inspired this, and then David arranged for for them to do the race car thing since they're gonna have fun. But that's the show pushing it. Sometimes you got to push back and say this doesn't make any sense. You guys going on trips and shit, that doesn't make any sense. Not with the way that your relationship ended. It doesn't make sense. And this is part, and to me, this is part of the reason why the show is struggling. Because when the audience watches it, if they can't connect the dots and make the shit make sense to them, they become disinterested. Because it just shit isn't lining up. And like I said, you already have a problem with honesty. So you're not being truthful. You're setting up situations that are unrealistic, which demonstrates the fact that you're not being truthful. And it not only makes me look at Cody's side eye and the show side eye, but I start to strongly look at Christine too, because she's starting to come off fake as fuck. Pardon my French. Because she's suggesting it. They got you to suggest some stupid shit, and you coming off looking, pardon my French, but you coming off looking fake as fuck. You coming out looking crazy. This is crazy. So, I think that whole conversation was just a bad look, because it doesn't make you look like you're being mature by saying we have to deal with each other. Yeah, it's understood that you have to deal with each other, but dealing with each other doesn't mean you have to be best friends. Doesn't mean you have to hang out. Doesn't mean you have to go on retirement together. Because at the same time, if you're asking, and here's the thing, here's a news flash on why this is so dumb. Why it's so dumb. If you're asking David to hang out with Cody, then Christine, you need to go hang out with Robin. You need to be best friends with Robin. Oh, I can't trust Robin because she said, well, why would he trust David? Robin is the woman that Cody loved. Robin is the one, he burned his whole family down. He talking about he gonna punch his kids out if they talk bad about her. Robin is the one that he cares about. So if you want to be his best friend, you know it's going to include Robin. So it's not real, because you, in the same conversation, you're trying to coerce David to go hang out with Cody. You're saying you can't hang out with Cody, and we know full well that you can't hang out with Robin. So David's got to do the heavy lifting so that your family can get along together. That's displacing shit. It's in the wrong area. So even if I pretended like this was a viable thing, it wouldn't make any sense for David, a third person or third party, to be directly involved with trying to mend and heal and build bridges for you and your family to be able to get along. That makes zero damn sense. And if that was the case, if that was something you were suggesting and that was something you wanted to do, what I would say is you all need to grow up. You got to handle your own business, because truly is between Cody and Christine, not Christine, Cody, and David, not Christine, Cody, and Robin. Truly, and what happens with Truly as far as visitation, support, so on and so forth, is a conversation between the two people who made her. Full stop. It creates problems if David is the one who has to be the go-between between Christine and David, or Christine and Cody. That creates problems, just like when you guys, Robin put herself in a position, and you guys put Robin in a position where she was trying to be the go-between between you guys and Cody. That creates problems. Everybody got to, if we're gonna play the mature game, and everybody needs to grow up and be mature, then you guys have to grow up and be mature and stop deferring it to other people. That's the whole thing. So I'm just saying, like, I think that was that to me, that was a waste. Then we got to touch on this part, because this had my shit like through the roof. When Cody said, and this is one of the things he said, one of the two things he said tonight, or the way they edited it, the two things he said on tonight's show, that I know he's watching my show, or somebody there is watching my show, because he said, my daughter lives in David's house. That first part, I should have met him. I should have a relationship with him. I should know him, because my daughter lives in his house. You fucker. She lived in his house for how long? And you finally get around and talking about, oh, she live in his house. Maybe I should meet this dude, have a conversation. I've been saying that shit. I've been saying that. When we first started talking about David coming into the family and we're gonna meet at Gwendolyn's bridal shower, and then we're gonna sit there and we're gonna have a conversation. That's the first time I'm gonna meet David. I'm gonna ask him some questions. By then, Truly had already been living in this man's house for months. And you didn't bother meeting him then. And you're gonna have the audacity to sit there and say, not only should I should not only should I have met him and talked to him, which you should have because that's your daughter. And if you were being responsible, that's what you would have done. Because there ain't no way in the way. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Look right in the camera, and I'm gonna tell you straight up. There is no way. There is zero way. And like my daughter, if she full grown, she was full grown, full ass grown. But if she lived with my wife and we weren't together and she was dating some man and some man was either moving in or staying over at the house, you bet your ass if my daughter was full grown, I'd be over there meeting this dude. There's no way in the world I'm gonna have some man living, my daughter sleeping under some man roof at 14, 15 years old. Are you crazy? And I don't know. I haven't met this guy. We haven't had a conversation. Are you nuts? And part of that too is, and we're gonna keep it all the way above. Part of that too is if you picking her up and you seeing her on a regular, then you would have more than an opportunity to meet him. I'm gonna say that one more again because I don't think they heard me. Don't you think they heard me? I don't think they heard me. Yeah, what do you think? They ain't hear me. If you already been seeing her on a regular basis, then you already would have met that mug. You already would have met him. If you've been seeing her and you've been keeping up with your visits and you made sure you stayed in touch with her and you were calling her and talking to her on the phone and all that, you guys' path would have been crossed. It would have been a natural occurrence that your paths cross. You got to set up a whole special event that you can go out and meet her because you don't go see your daughter or your daughter don't come and see you. You don't spend time with her. If you was half as interested in Truly's ass as you was Robin's kids, you'd have been met this dude. Just by happenstance and situations. You sure as shit would have had more desire to meet him and you would have got it done. But you didn't. But what tripped me out even more than that was when this joker turned around and said, I should have had the right to discriminate against David, basically meaning that it should have been up to his discretion whether Christine dated this dude. That's where I draw the line. That's some bullshit. You have a say when it comes to who's going to be around your child. You don't have a say on who your ex-wife is going to spend her nights with. Who going to rotate them tires? Who going to blow her back out? Who going to curl her toes? You don't have that's none of your damn business. I didn't say business. That's not your business. That's none of your damn business. You broke up. She's done. You're done. She left you. She kicked you out of the house. You're not with her no more. You didn't have a right to tell her who she can screw. That time is over. If you gave a damn who she was screwing, you should have made sure you were screwing her by staying with her and doing right by her. And you should have made sure that you was doing all your duties and keeping up with her. And then you could have had a little more say about who she was screwing because you would have been screwing her. But since you didn't do those things and she left, no, you don't get a say. And as Christine said, if you was that worried about what was going on with Truly, you should have been involved with Truly the whole time. And you would have met David when they first started dating. And then maybe you would have had an opportunity to voice your opinion or voice your objection if you would have met him early on in the relationship. But by the time they already was living together under one roof for months, and now you want to come in and start talking about, oh, maybe I don't like him. Too late. Too late. They married now for years at this point. Too late. I should have been able to say something. Too late. Too late. I mean, technically, if we're going to keep it all the way a buck, when you was dating Robin and Christine said something, how much weight did Christine's opinion have on your desire to date Robin? Did you break up with Robin immediately when Christine said, I'm not comfortable with this relationship? And at that point, part of your agreement was that she had the right and authority to say, I don't feel comfortable with you dating this person, because that was the agreement that you guys had in your marriage. But you said, who I sleep with, who I'm attracted to, who I spend time with is none of your business. And that was your relationship agreement. You and Christine don't have that agreement. So you don't get to tell her who she gets to spend time with. Sorry, Bobo. Sorry, Boo Boo. You don't have that control. I know it hurts. I know it hurts when you have so much power and so much control and all of a sudden you lose it. I know the shit hurts and it upsets you. Too bad, so sad. Let's get some let's check out some of these super truths. Lizzie, oh, okay. We did this one from Lizzie B. Thank you, Lizzie B. Then we had Negla 3, $2 super chat. Christine can get a Netflix doc and kick rocks. yeah, we're playing in our faces, Negla. I feel like she's playing in our faces. And I'm not liking it. Like, this is what I was saying. Like, this is where it gets kind of gritty a little bit with Christine. Like, you gotta be true, because otherwise people start to question things that you say, especially when you're like, you get caught lying about how happy you were. Then you come out with books talking about how sad you were because you were being mistreated. And then you come back out and say, no, but he's a good man. And everything that he did to me is justified because now I'm with a man and I'm happy. And so it's okay that Cody treated me like that, because it makes sense to me now. No. And I'm saying this, and again, this is Christine discovering monogamy. So she doesn't understand really how monogamy works, or how people work. And I'm telling you, as a monogamist, that, a person who's practicing monogamy currently, that when push comes down to shove, boo boo, just because he was in love or you're in love now, that doesn't give him license to hurt or harm somebody else. Just because he's in love with this person, Robin, doesn't mean that it's okay for him to hurt you, Janelle, Mary, your kids, all in the name of love for this person. So that's not what love is. My love for one person doesn't require that I hurt a bunch of other people. How many lives can I destroy to prove my love to this person? See, that's not love. To me, that's not what love is. Maybe y'all just operate different. Maybe y'all in different, y'all running a different program. But me, that's not what love is. For you to sit there and, like, I have to make your life terrible, or I have to, show my dedication to this person by ruining that person. I did it in the name of you, my love. Like, that's ridiculous. So, no, it's not okay that he treated you that way because he was in love with Robin. If he was in love with Robin, he still could have respected you. He still could have respected Mary. He still could have respected Janelle, could have respected his kids. And respecting you, even if he didn't love you, if he respected you, he would have told you how he felt and he would have let your ass go. If he respected you, he would have let you go. He wouldn't have kept you around, dangling you out, playing you out, stretching you out, and messing around with your finances if he really cared about you. And if he respected you, he damn sure wouldn't have did it. I know Cody likes to pretend that love is something that women give and is important to women, but respect is something that's only important to men. Respect and love is important to everybody. I want to feel loved. Only a psychopath, sociopath, narcissist, or weirdo, or an asshole would sit around and pretend like they don't care about being loved. If that's what you're saying, you're delusional. Everybody wants to be loved. But part of that love is I also want to be respected. And I have an expectation of being respected. I'm not begging for respect. I'm not going to come and ask you for respect. I expect and demand to be respected. There's a difference in mentality in that. One, but two, I'm not taking one over the other. I want them both. And if you don't love me, that's fine, but you can respect me. That's where I would say something similar to what Cody would say. Men don't care about love, but it's all about the respect. If you don't respect me, keep the love. No, if you don't respect me, then there's no way you can love me. But you can respect me and not like me. You don't have to like me to respect me. He didn't have to like your ass to respect you enough to let you go. But thank you so much, Negla 3. I appreciate you. Let me give you a little something. All right. And then we had Brittany Not Brittany with the $1.99 super chat. I cackle when David side-eye the F out of her. Yeah, right. Could you imagine? You sitting there with your husband or your wife, and they're like, yeah, I want you to be best friends with my ex. First thing I'd be thinking, you're screwing them. There's no way. Why would you even say that? Why we gotta hang out so it makes it more convenient for you to call them? So when you guys are texting each other, or you calling each other, it makes more sense to me. Why would you? What would that be about? Especially if you guys had a volatile breakup. Like if you guys parted as friends, you know, depending on how long you dated, I guess it's case by case, but just as a general rule, like I don't understand why you guys are so cool to the point where, we need to have a family reunion. We need to get together. You guys need to be best friends. Why I gotta suffer? Like you know what I mean? Like I want to spend my days off hanging out, cleaning up your work. Like, why playing with your old trash? Well, what are we doing? But thank you, Brittany. Not Brittany. Get a little something. That's crazy to me. All right. Appreciate you. Let me get a little something. Hold on one second. Do. All right. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about keeping score and accountability. Keeping score. One of the things that Christine said was, well, I don't like to keep score. I was keeping score when I was living polygamy. I'm ashamed to say I was keeping score. Yeah, you're keeping score because it's necessary. Yeah, it'll tear your relationship down, but at the same time, you have to do some kind of assessment to make sure you're getting what you need and you're being treated fairly. See, it's foolish, and this is part of the system. Why the system is rigged against you, ladies, from the get up, because you're told when you're part of this faith and this religion that having concerns about fairness, having concerns about you being taken advantage of, you're giving to this person, but you're not giving me, having concerns of envy and jealousy. These are all roots of evil, according to them. You're paying attention to how somebody's treating you, and you don't like the fact that they treat you shabbily instead of treating you properly. And you complain about it. See, you're being petty, you're being small, you're being evil, you're being wicked, and you're wrong, right? According to their faith. And that's where it's the flaws of it are baked into the system, because you can convince somebody who is just observing that they're being treated unfairly, and there's no just situation. I'm being treated unjustly, not unfairly, but unjustly. You're not treating me properly. You're not treating me with respect. And because I say something about it, all of a sudden I'm a bad person. I'm a bad husband or a bad wife or a bad partner, because I'm noting your behavior and I'm holding you accountable for how you're doing me and how you're treating me. One of the things, of course, Mary admitted that she was keeping score. Robin, I forget what Robin said. It was something stupid. And she did, I didn't have to keep score because I didn't care what it is, because you were winning. So, of course, you didn't have to keep score because you ran the damn scoreboard up. If you know you up 99 to nothing, Why am I keeping score? I'm winning. Shake me when they get within 20 points, right? 2 minutes left on the clock. Get the hell out of here. So the whole idea of like that, but Janelle also demonstrated why she would be suitable for these types of relationships, because she said usually I was so busy with my own stuff I didn't really keep score. I wasn't paying attention because she was satisfied with doing what she was doing. She just wanted to keep her head down and keep working. She's a workhorse, right? Not a show pony. So that's what added to her being good in these types of relationships. But at the same time, if we're going to keep it all the way a buck, this is also why you were taken advantage of in this type of relationship. This is why you're having to settle for 25% of one investment when you've invested at least two major home investment or real estate investments, but you're only going to get 25% on one. That's because you weren't paying attention and you were keeping your head down. While he was giving so much and everything to one wife, Robin, you were keeping your head down and you weren't keeping score and you weren't paying attention to what was going on at her house. Meanwhile, she had a house and you had an RV. She had a house and most of the property out there on Coyote Pass. You had a good amount of property on Coyote Pass, but they were never going to help you build on Coyote Pass. And even crazier, you couldn't turn a stick or a stone on Coyote Pass, even the parcels that had your name on it, without the express permission of your partners, which would have been Cody and by default, Robin, because she's married to Cody. So unless one of them said, yeah, you can build a house out there and we'll sign off when you build a house, she could have stayed on that property for the 3 months that she was allowed to stay on that property. Because I think they had a ordinance where you could only stay, that she had to keep moving the RV around to each one of the properties because you could only stay on one parcel for three months, I think it was. So she could have done the whole year if she could have just moved it parcel to parcel to parcel. But as Cody said, you got to get permission from the other wives. Who's the other wife? Because the only piece of property, only 2 pieces of property she didn't have her name on were the ones that were controlled by Cody and Robin. The one with Mary was the one that she was staying on. That had her name on it too. She had every right to be on that property. The other property had her and Cody's name on it. That's 2 of the 4 properties. So the only 2 properties where Cody was like, you got to ask the wife. You don't have permission to move that RV around on that property, was Robin. So not paying attention just gets you screwed. You always got to do some assessment. I'm not saying you do it out of anger or bitter. You just, you just assess. You just take a look at it. You notice. And it's not you being mean or nasty because you're noticing things. You're paying attention. You know why you're paying attention? Because you're in your partnership, you're a participant and not a spectator. Part of the reason why these relationships, especially in polygamy as it's expressed on this show, are failing is because the women are not full participants in their own relationships. That's how Cody is able to take advantage of them. That's how it always seems like every time you turn around, it seems like he's winning. Him and Robin are winning. It's not because he's super smart or he somehow tricked them or manipulated them or fooled them because he's the mastermind of the world. No, it's just the fact that you guys don't do your due diligence to make sure that your needs are being served or being met. So we talk about that. Robin had claimed while they were sitting there talking about keeping score and accountability and, taking responsibility for what went wrong and why the family failed. Robin had said that there's been a lot of crap talk and nasty behavior. And so that's why they all can't get together and be in a room because that would be a bad idea. It's a bad idea because nobody who is responsible is trying to take accountability or responsibility for why the family failed. Cody isn't taking responsibility. He just got around to saying, I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to hold myself accountable because I was the leader. What that is, that's not him holding himself accountable. what that was and what we were watching was when Cody said, I'm going to take responsibility for this and be accountable to this. What he's saying is, I'm done. I'm tired of not only talking about it, I'm tired of you guys blaming me and holding me accountable about this and talking about me. So I want to stop all conversations about it. So I'll just admit that I did something wrong, even though I don't believe I did anything wrong. And I expect you guys to shut up about it. That's what that was. I'm not going to shut up about it, but I understand what you were trying to do. Just okay. So then we had Robin's perspective and deflection. Okay. What I was calling Robin's perspective and her deflection. Um when Cody had presented the idea of another woman coming into the family because she reached out to Cody, I thought it was kind of funny that none of this supposed woman's information was available because Cody deleted it. It's a little tricky when you tell your wife, yeah, this lady, I thought it was important enough for me to mention that this woman had tried to get in touch with me and get into the family, start a romantic relationship with me and get into the family. Oh, really? Yeah, it got to the point where she was chastising me and criticizing me and telling me that I should participate in polygamy and why am I willing to let it go? So she started sending me emails about it, and I deleted those emails, and I'm going to tell you about it. That shit is shaky as hell. Because if a woman was contacting me and it rose to the level of where I needed to let my wife know, there's no way I'm deleting that message. She's going to see the message. You know why? Because, yeah, you told her about it, but it leaves too much room for her to say, you know what? That's what you're telling me what she said. And then you're kind of weird about not talking to her and what you said and what more to the point, what you didn't say. You just erased it. You didn't answer, but it wasn't really clear that you didn't answer and you guys weren't going back and forth. And then all of a sudden you deleted all the messages. That shit is super, super sus. That's super sus. Okay. If you're going to tell her about it, it rises to the level of importance to where I need to mention it, then she needs to be included the entire way. If you're going to be transparent, you got to be transparent. Transparent is see-through. He's more translucent. Okay. Get a little bit of the truth, kind of opaque. I can see a figure, but I can't see through it. I can't see clearly what's going on. If you're going to do something like that, your wife needs to know, especially if you guys have a history of like open relationships. And this is, again, one of the reasons why I think that I've said before, like, I don't think that it's impossible for people to have plural relationships, but I think that in order for you to actually engage in plural relationships and be successful with it, you as an individual have to be one of the minuscule percentage of our human population who have the capacity to be able to do it. Right? Because I don't think I think it's almost like it's a rare thing that you have the maturity and openness, self-esteem, confidence that you can, either allow yourself or, comport yourself to a position where you can date multiple people or you can allow your partner to date multiple people. And it's also like you have to be organized because you have to be able to handle time management. You have to be able to multitask. There's a lot of skill sets that's involved. And beyond you kind of doing that self-assessment of yourself, wow, okay. Beyond you doing that self-assessment, you have to pair and couple with somebody who is like-minded and in that same capacity. They can do it as well. They have the maturity, intellect, compassion, so on and so forth, time management, all those skills as well. And part of that too is that you have to be honest. You can't half-ass tell stories. You can't be truthful. You have to be honest. You have to be transparent. Honest is when, Robin finds out that this woman had contacted Cody and Cody tells her the truth. That's being honest, right? Transparent is when you bring it up to her and you show her all the messages. You keep her informed from day one, second one, moment one of what's going on. That's honest, and that's transparent. You have to be transparent with these types of relationships. There's no room for guessing. So we get into that whole thing with Robin, and she's talking about you know, oh well, what would have been nice, because even though you're talking about this new woman coming in, this is why I just scream storyline. Like, I don't think none of this shit is real. It just screams storyline. But let's take a step off for a second before we get into it. The reason why I say it screams storyline. One, how, in what universe would it be appropriate for Cody to go out and seek another wife? You just burned your whole family down because you were fixated on Robin. So how would it be fair for you to go out and get another woman and try to bring in a family? If you did decide this is what you wanted to do, are you willing to try to do this in a secular manner? Meaning that you guys are just going to go down to maybe Vegas or, another part of Flagstaff, try to pick up, maybe flip up to Seattle or Oregon or something, and try to get yourself a little hippie chick, like free love, Maybe that's what you'll do, because you guys are no longer part of the AUB. And even if we stretch it and say that you guys are still part of the AUB, you were never kicked out, you're still attending, you guys are still honored, or whatever the case may be, how does the prophet get around allowing you to have another wife when you've had 3 failed marriages? You have one release, and according to some of the other folks on YouTube who said that, they be willing to give the prophet be willing to give Christine and Janelle a release, or Christine Janelle a release if they came and asked for it. Why would he give, he has 2 more release, he gave 1 release, he has 2 releases pending. Why would he give you another wife? And these are just happening. So it's not like you've had a whole lot of time to develop, learn your lesson, and, become more responsible and learn how to be a better steward of these relationships. How could he justify that to himself, in his religion, to his faith, and to the people who follow him? How would he justify that? He can't. So there's no pathway for you to be able to do it through the AUB. And if there's no religious context to it, you guys are just doing it because you like to get freaky deaky. You want to get a little bit of strange in your relationship. You just have you're just having open marriage at that point. And is that what Robin wants? I bet you it's not. So it's just no pathway for it. So it's a bullshit conversation. But even when Cody's trying to have that conversation, Robin tries to steer it back into why she's hurt and how this is affecting her and why she wanted polygamy so bad, even though she was never really a polygamist and she never really tried to shore up those relationships to make that form of polygamy work. Because at the end of the day, guys, guess what? She came into a family that was already established. They already had a culture. And instead of her conforming to the Brown family culture and style of polygamy, she fundamentally changed the Brown family style of polygamy to, instead of being an all-inclusive one family model, it turned into separate households model, because that's what she felt comfortable with. And because she felt comfortable with it and the other wives didn't, they left. Sum total, case closed. That's why they left. So she's sitting there trying to cry and complain about how she wants polygamy, and it would have been so nice if you just would have looked across the table and read this script. I have you. I got you. I love you so much. You are so important. You're safe. I got you, wife. You're so special. And if you would have said that in front of the other wives, then it could have changed everything. Tahi, right? Then Cody comes back with, well, I don't want to be blamed because he's a, sensitive ass biatch. Like, he's sensitive as hell, right? Oh, are you trying to blame me now? Are you trying to tell me where I was wrong? Right? Instead of just, taking the shit on the chin. Or more to the point, what it comes down to is that's a nice little speech, Robin. And this is one of the things that I was saying about communication. I know we always talk about communication is key, it's so important. But there's a part where you have to stop talking about it and you got to start being about it. You got to stop talking about what you want to do and you got to start doing it. Instead of describing how you feel to these women and how you got them and you supporting them and you try to make them feel safe and secure, instead of you sitting there giving them a fucking speech about that, you actually make them feel safe and secure in their relationships. That would have been what turned the tide. That would have been what saved your relationships. The problem you had wasn't the fact that Cody didn't do enough speeches. The problem you had was that Cody wasn't doing the right thing because Cody wasn't mature enough to recognize that there are other people in the world and they have their own feelings, desires, motivations, hopes, and dreams, and things that they want to accomplish not only for themselves, but for their families. And because Cody couldn't do that, couldn't do two things at once, and he could only focus on what he wanted and what made him happy, that made him a bad partner. Not a bad polygamist, a bad partner. Full stop. Let's stop playing this monogamous, polygamous bullshit game. If you do that, if you only have one wife or one husband and you don't make them feel secure in your relationship won't last. I don't care how many, if you have multiple of them, it won't work. If you have just one, it won't work. It's not a polygamy thing. It's just that you're a bad partner. You just happen to do it in a multitude of ways to a multiple of people. That's the only difference. You fucked up all at once. Pardon my French. You messed up all at once. So there's that. But yeah, that whole like, oh, you should have told a better story. Stop with the no. That's Robin trying to manage. Stop trying to manage problems and stop trying to manage people. Like nobody likes to be managed. Okay? Be genuine. And it's just a fake helpfulness. Like this is the counselor Robin that these women were talking about. And how you guys fell for that bullshit, I have no idea. Because that is such weak sauce. Oh, you should have just said this. And Cody buys into that. Oh, Robin's such a good communicator. Communication is just words. Unless you backing it up, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, and then this part right here again. This is another part that part of that same conversation that had me like, what the hell? Cody is gonna get ate alive. Like he's gonna get on the show because Cody gonna do the manosphere stuff. I'm convinced of it. Because he keep talking about manhood, what men need to do. This is how men understand stuff. He's trying to get into the manosphere so bad it's crazy. And bruh, I'm telling you, when you get in the manosphere, one of the things that they do in the manosphere is that they always have these guys debating and arguing with like 19-year-olds, 18, 19-year-old women, usually fresh out the club or they work in the sex industry or whatever, and they yell and scream and holler at them and then demand that they explain what marriage is like. Most of these women haven't even had long-term relationships yet, serious relationships, and you want them to pontificate what it's going to be like about being married. You know what I mean? And a bunch of grizzled ass old dudes sitting around with failed relationships and failed marriages trying to argue to them that they need to be submissive and go back in time and change their sexual body count or whatever. It's ridiculous. But Cody turned around and he said, because I say all that to say that them women are going to eat his ass alive. Because he said, guys, when it comes down to it, guys can deal with the comparison issue. They can deal with the competitiveness issue of having, like, say, if I'm dating a woman and she's dating another dude, if she was giving that dude more time, then as a man, I could handle it because we don't compare, we don't keep notes. Women can't help themselves. They get too jealous, they get upset. So Cody tacitly admitted in his mindset, in a way, in that one statement, that women would actually be better suited to live polygyny, where they have like one husband or multiple husbands, one wife, than polygamy, where you have one man and multiple wives. Because if men can handle the jealousy issues, envy issues, they don't get jealous of each other, they don't keep score, but women do, and that's why women are terrible and weak and all that other stuff, that what Cody was trying to say, then women would actually be better at polygamy or polygyny, where they have multiple husbands, because the guys can handle it, right? You big dummy. Like, I know that's not what you meant, but that's what you said. So it'd be like, how does polygamy work? And why would you even recommend polygamy? Why would that even be a possibility? And Cody also said, well, I mean, we joke about brother husbands, but that would never work because guys would never go for it. Which is it? Guys would never go for it because they get jealous, just like women get jealous. You know why? Because that's 99% of the population, in my opinion, would get jealous. Because I think that only like 1%, 2% of the human population are kitted to a position where they could actually do polygamy and try to make it work, because they're just geared that way. I just don't think a lot of people are wired that way to be able to just, disassociate in that respect. But that's my thing with that. I might have to make some videos about this. Oh, Ty had something to say. Ty said, $5 super chat, said, Cody's already sampling new pines. Robin's a sister wife. She just hasn't met her eternal soulmate yet. And spoiler, she won't. Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest, I kind of suspect that Cody might have already stepped out. Because, like I said, that whole conversation about, oh yeah, I gotta contact this woman, contacted me, but yeah, did you contact her back? Yeah, I did. No, I didn't. I erased it, and then I didn't contact her back, and I totally erased it. But I'm gonna show you next time. Next time I'm gonna show you. Next time I'm gonna show you. But this one I erased. Yeah, I think he's totally messing around. And he's too excited about it. He's like, oh, it's exciting to have women trying to contact me, and it makes me feel good. Yeah, you know what? It's nice to be wanted. But let's be honest. Everybody can get that. Everybody can get that. It's nice to be wanted. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But this won't be a long one, I promise you. Thank you so much, Ty. So, what I wanted to talk about, close this up with like Cody, Robin, and I'll just do a general observations about the this whole thing. Cody, his self-image is crazy. Like, because Cody insists like that he's a good man and he's a good person. And because of these things, it makes him attractive to women. He wants others to condone his actions under the guise of, forgiveness. So basically, he's demanding that Christine, Mary, and Janelle forgive him because it would condone what it is he did to them. And it gets basically an endorsement that, like I said, this is him trying to rehabilitate his image so that they can move into their spinoff era. And he needs that rehabilitation. It's just not working. It's coming off clumsy. You know, it's the idea that you know, he's a good man, he's a good person. So Christine giving him that endorsement, he's a good man. Then we should all forgive him. And for that part of it, this is where I say, I've had people write me before or ask me before, even on Speak Pipes, which we do on Thursday. Leave a message, speakpipe.com/my take on reality. Leave a message. We respond to them on Thursdays. But here's the thing. You get I was just reading Lizzie B's thing. So I mean, that's just my opinion. People nowadays are in polygamy and it works for some. I just feel it won't work for me. That's that's fair. That's fair. But and I think that's like you got to do that self-assessment. But here's my thing, and I just lost track of what I was saying. With the whole thing with Cody and Robin and them trying to rehabilitate his image, I'm just not going for it. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't think we should buy into it because it doesn't make sense. The next thing I would say is like the just general observations about the about the show. When Robin was sitting there saying like why Cody's attractive and how Cody could scoop these women. She said when a woman sees a married man with kids, she assumes he's a stable and he's a good dad, and it makes her eggs drop. How many of you ladies' eggs was dropping looking at Cody ever? Like, woo, got to get pregnant from Cody Browns. And this actually, to me, speaks volumes. This speaks volumes about the immature nature of where these people are. Because if you think being married and having kids, physically having kids, somehow makes you stable and a good person, it tells me that you're as deep as a puddle of spit. It's intellectually dishonest at best. Best case scenario, you're just being dishonest. Worst case scenario, you're stupid. Because look, being married is one thing. That doesn't make you a good person. That just means that you aren't divorced. Right? You could be married and miserable. You could be married and having a bad time. You could be married and abusing or mistreating your partner, your kids, everything else. Being married doesn't fix anything, just like having kids doesn't fix anything, and it certainly doesn't prove anything. It just proves that you can have children. It proves that you can reproduce. It doesn't prove that you're a good parent because you you went and shot up the club, and now a child dropped 9 months later. You're in a delivery room, maybe, or at the bar, maybe, or you're at the you're hanging out with your buddies, denying the fact that you was ever with a woman, or she was with some other dudes that I don't even know who she was with. She was freaking dicking like that. Like, that doesn't make you a good guy. You being there for your children. The fact that he didn't do, like, we could cite chapter and verse about what we've seen on the show on things that he has done, which makes him not a good father. Things that he said on the show, which makes him not a good dad. Things that he said on the show, which makes him a horrible freaking partner. The fact that you had like, oh, he's a good man. He was married to one wife and she's happy. Yeah, but he's a guy who supposedly, according to him, had 4 wives and 3 of them left. Just because one of them is happy 25% is not like, look, if if he was a pilot, right? You're about to get on a plane and a pilot says, ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts. We're about to take off. Just to let you know, I'm a very good pilot. I land the plane 25% of the time. 25% of the time, we have a great landing. Other 75% of the time, we've been ducking mountains. We've been putting it down in the rivers and lakes and oceans. Like, you know what I mean? If you get on my plane, you better be able to swim. But 25% of the time, I do good. The first thing you're doing is get me the hell off this plane. Just go ahead and put that little ramp down. I'll slide off this mug and you guys can take off. Good luck. But that's not a thing. That's horrible. You're terrible at marriage. 25%, you're terrible. You're terrible at marriage. Nobody's looking at that like, oh yeah, that's decent. 25% of the time. But he said she tries to hold it out that way. Now, I will say when you get married, in some cases you do become more attractive. It's not just the fact that, oh, all of a sudden you're responsible. It's just that some women, some men like the challenge of feeling like they're taking something from somebody. It's not fun unless they're denying somebody else. So they pursue married people. They pursue people in relationships because they want to prove to them it's some kind of a chit or a notch in a belt if they can prove that they can get a person away from the person that they're with. Here's the other secret. If you're a good guy, you're a good man, and a woman approaches you because you're a good man and she's so sexy, you're so sexy because you're a good man, at some point you have to do self-reflection, and part of that self-reflection is the realization that if you're married, you're committed, your wife trusts you, and another woman approaches you and makes advances on you because of how faithful you are and that makes you a good man, if you accept those advances and you pursue those advances with that woman, yeah, come on, let's go. We go back to the mosey wosey. Go back to the no-tell motel. And you do that, by definition, you're not a good man. The very thing that she supposedly finds attractive about you is a thing that's not very attractive anymore because you're not that thing. You understand what I mean? The fact that Cody is entertaining this conversation, I would have problems if I'm in a relationship and me and a person start a relationship and we agree that we're going to be monogamous, right? And then we're going through our monogamous relationship, and then at some point later they come to me and say, "Hey James, I'm thinking about the possibilities of us opening this relationship up." First question, who you got in mind? Because clearly there's somebody that you thinking about or somebody you're in progress with that you just trying to get the go ahead to go ahead and do what you've been wanting to do anyway. But okay, fine. We have the conversation because nothing is off the table and everything should be discussed. If you have a conversation and you want to be able to talk about it, let's talk about it. Right. But the second I say I don't feel comfortable with it or I don't want to do it or, we've been monogamous for so long, it's not appropriate for us to try to open a relationship up. We can't retrofit that into our relationship because it'll just destroy the foundation of our relationship. After I said that, or I present it and she says no, if I keep bringing this shit up, she already said no. What you keep bringing it up for? According to Cody, he already said he wants to be a monogamous. Then you bring up like the possibility of this woman coming into the family supposedly. And then you upset with Robin because she's fixated on polygamy again and she won't let it go. Why you keep bringing it up? Why'd you bring it up? And then why are you accepting a conversation? You should be nipping that shit in the bud. Like, look, we're not doing that. I'm not doing that. If that's what you want, you need to go find somebody who could give it to you. That's my thing. Like, I'm not even trying to say that you can't do it. Oh, no, you can't do it. We're together. No. If that's what you want, that's what's important to you, and it rises to the level of it's so important that it's something that you're driven to do, you just can't do it with me because I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it with you. I don't, you know what I mean? There's some people, even if you have a past where you could have open relationships or whatever, every relationship is different because even in that scale, there are going to be some people that you're okay with, you know, them running off and doing whatever, or you running off doing whatever, and that's your relationship. And you could be that person, and you get with this other person, and even though that was your past, you're not okay with sharing this one. I was okay with sharing that one. I ain't okay with sharing this one. This one got that good stuff. Ain't nobody trying to stretch it all out of shape. Sorry about that. But, you know, Cody keep having these damn conversations. Why are we watching this conversation over again? It's troublesome. If I already said no, no is no. It's almost like, and we could even take it from like the monogamy part. It doesn't even have to be polygamy. If there's something like role play or some kink that your partner wants to do, but you're not okay with doing it, once they should be able to feel comfortable enough to bring it to you and ask you about it, inquire about it, you have a conversation about it. But whatever you decide, if you decide that you absolutely can't do that because you don't feel comfortable with it, that's the end of the conversation. And the fact that you keep bringing it up is really troublesome. Like, especially if it's not in the realm of like, okay, well, here's additional information, or maybe, you know, you had a chance to think about it, some time is going past, maybe you're willing to try it, or we getting close to doing it, and, you know, just take that extra step and do the thing. That's one thing. But if they're like, I absolutely positively don't want to do it with you, I don't feel comfortable with it. You know, next morning at breakfast. So you had a chance to think about what I talked about yesterday? No. It's just not right. Then here's the second part where Cody said, where Cody said something that I've been saying. He phrased it a little bit different, but it's the same thing. So again, welcome to the show, Cody. He said, how you do anything is how you do everything. I was saying how you do one thing is how you do all things, but it's basically the same thing. Thank you, Cody. You should have gave me some credit on that. Appreciate it. The whole thing is, I think that this more or less applies to Cody's pattern of control and avoidance. Because he's not saying, like, I want to take responsibility for these relationships and the failures thereof. What he's saying is, I don't want to be responsible for this relationship, and I don't want to talk about it no more. We failed at these relationships. We failed. Not I failed, or I didn't do the right thing, or I didn't have the maturity, or I didn't have the desire to share myself with this multiple people. I don't have it in me to love that many people because frankly, I don't have enough capacity to love people after I've given all my love to myself. Because I think that's what it is. Like, I think everybody's kind of taking the position. I've seen a lot of people take the position that Cody is so in love and so enamored with Robin, and he's so fixated with Robin. I don't think that that's the case. I think that ultimately, when it comes down to it, Cody is in love with Cody. Say it one more again. Cody is in love with Cody. Cody is making Cody happy. Cody likes how Robin makes him feel. Cody likes how Robin defers to him. Cody likes the things that Robin does, or more to the point, things he can blame Robin for that he actually wants and he actually enjoys. That's why Cody is so tied to Robin. He does things to Robin, blames things on Robin, gives Robin that note of responsibility, shoulders things that he wants to do, the blame for the things that he wants to do with Robin, and she doesn't say anything. She defends him. She tries to rationalize and justify the shit that he does wrong and the positions that he takes. That's why he loves Robin, because Robin is a reflection of who he is. He loves himself. It's not that he's so crazy about Robin because Robin threw the magic leg up on his ass. It ain't about the poom poom. It's about the fact that Robin does for him the things that he likes done for him. He likes how Robin makes him feel. He likes who he is when he's with Robin. It's not that Robin's amazing and that she's so manipulative and tricky and she fooled him. It's just that he needs the things that he gets from Robin, he wants to keep getting. And so he's willing to sacrifice some things or do things for Robin so that he can keep getting the things that she provides to him. I don't think it's just sex. I don't think like a lot, oh, she's from the street. Robin belonged to the streets. I don't think that's it. Because Janelle was married before. She didn't come into the relationship a pure white virgin. Pure as a driven snow. Janelle showed up to the Cody's house. She had tracks up her back. Okay, she was married before. Janelle been in the world, and that's no insult to Janelle. Good for her. Maybe that's why Janelle's so chill, but so relaxed. But I think it's just the fact that Robin does for Cody the things that Cody likes. And that's what he's in love with. He loves the way he looks with Robin in Robin's eyes and the way that she makes him feel. That's what he's in love with. And that's what he was trying to teach the other women to emulate when they were with Robin. It wasn't that they had to be Robin. It was just that they had to make him feel how he feels when he's with Robin. They have to adore him the way Robin pretended to adore him. Robin did it for a purpose to get what she wanted. That's the part of manipulation. She understood what the assignment was and she fulfilled the assignment to expert qualifications. But at the end of the day, the assignment was to make Cody feel like he was special. There was something I wanted to say that was just outrageous. I gotta remember what it was. Oh no, let me see. The name of the show should have been Cody is in love with Cody. Yeah, right. It should have been Cody and the Sister Wives. He was cheating on himself with the Sister Wives. That's Oh, we have Michelle Woods in the house. Michelle up in chat. $5 super chat. Why was Cody's face and neck so red? Yeah, right. It was like he had a rash or something. And then they had like the way they were shooting him, like you could see them like his hair or whatever. My man was in trouble. Was it sunburn from Special Forces? I don't know if it was about that time. I think he had already felt like he had been filmed Special Forces. But maybe that's a good point. It might be because he would have came back burnt up where he was. Yeah, he would have been a mess. So, but his hairline, boy, my man. We need to talk about that hairline for a second, bruh. I don't want to be petty. I'm just saying, like, as a piece of advice, when it comes to that hair, that shit is not fooling nobody. This is where it like this Cody. I'm not even being petty. I'm not even trying to be funny. But dude, your hairline is a crime scene. That shit is a national tragedy. Like it's jacked up, bro. Like and it's obvious what you're doing with the pulling the two long strands in the front, and like all this is missing. Like it's obvious. Like, bro, you're like a dude with a bad man unit. You know what I mean? Like that hair piece that like everybody know it's a hair piece. Like, why is a dude wearing a wig? but it's just like bad. Like it's like a dollar store wig at this point. So just speaking as a guy who watched the show, Davis bald headed. People aren't talking bad about him. Just go ahead, just pick that bad boy. Like you got a bald head brother. I think two of his brothers wear their hair bald headed. It's time to let it go though. And again, I'm not trying to be mean and nasty. I'm not trying to be too petty, but I'm just saying, like, it might because Cody's not a like that's the thing. Like, I don't think it would really affect his look. Like, I don't think he would look bad bald headed. Like, it would look like Cody. I'm not even gonna say he look good or bad. He just look like you. It wouldn't be a crime scene. Like, it wouldn't be like it's bad. That hairline is terrible. But I think that would be a drastic improvement. I think he could rock a bald head. But thank you so much, Michelle Woods. Yeah, I think it was kind of weird looking. Because he not only looked red, but he looked flushed. Like he was like, I don't know. But you might be right. I think it might have been special forces. Maybe that's true. Good point. Michelle Woods in the house. All right. But the $5 super treat from Michelle Woods. Yes, the hair growth supplements isn't working because they're expired. Hey, yeah, you can't be getting your shit from the dollar store, cuz you can't be getting your shit. Sometimes them online sites probably ain't the best place to get stuff. You might have to actually go to a pharmacy or something, see a doctor. But I just say that some of that stuff, like male pattern baldness, there's nothing you can do about it. Like they sell drugs and formulas for stuff that, at the end of the day, it's not gonna get any better. What I mean? It's like they used to sell supplements for to make you taller. They used to sell supplements to try to, make your stuff bigger. Like that shit ain't gonna work, bro. Like, especially if you think about it, if they actually had a pill that could enhance a man, make a man bigger, like you take a pill, the emergency rooms would be flooded with dudes just dying from blood loss. You know what I mean? It'd be some bunch of guys just passed out in the emergency room with they junk in a damn in a shopping cart. They done took too many of them damn pills. Ain't no pill gonna make you bigger. Ain't no pill gonna make you taller. Ain't no rub or cream gonna make your hair come back if it started falling out. Like it's just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta accept it. Maybe there's some treatments you could take depending on what kind of baldness you're suffering from. But bruh, it's called male pattern baldness for a reason. Sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and just eat it. Mother Nature can be tricky. She can be Mother Nature, lovely, 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 gorgeous, does gorgeous work. But sometimes she could be a cruel mistress. Okay. She will kick your ass. And that's just one of them things, boy. Mother Nature and Father Time wins every time. But Michelle Woods, the $5 super chat. Michelle Woods in the house. What's up, Michelle? It's my homegirl. Yeah, if you guys had a chance, go to Michelle's page to give her some subs over the chat because Michelle's doing some she's a content creator as well. Cody has a couple strands. Cody has a couple strands in his bald spot that looks like antennas. Yeah, it looks like I would say like an ant, but it's more like a cockroach because Cody just ain't going nowhere. Like no matter what happens, like after the nuclear holocaust, there'll be nothing left but Cody and the cockroaches. Like you can't get rid of that dude. I knew he was some type of alien. You're right. That dude's from Mars. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Remember that book? I think Cody was quoting that book actually in the first. I think he read that book between him and his sister wives. I think they read that book and then they tried to regurgitate it onto a lot of the talk shows or whatever that they used to do, the talk show interviews. But thank you so much, Michelle Woods. Guys, check out Michelle. Oh man. Let me see. I gotta pull this over to my other screen. Something's going on with my eyes. My eyes are wacky tonight. Yeah, there was one point I wanted to make before I let you go. Yeah. Let me make this one point. Yeah, you know what? Here's my overall opinion of tonight's show. Like, especially like they had some could be or potentially interesting conversations. But let's be honest. It's the kind of the same old refried bean bullshit that we've kind of been eating all season. Right? The new introduction of Cody potentially hanging out with David does not make me more interested. In fact, it kind of makes me less interested. Because all it's going to turn into, because is David going to say something to Cody? Like he's been calling Cody names and saying like little things here and there about Cody. But even that's not realistic. That's what I wanted to say. Even that's not realistic, you know. But there was a time when I was watching this show, and this is my overall feeling about where this is going as a franchise. There was a time when folks used to call in to speak pipe, or every now and again I would get a message or email, and people would say, "Yeah, there was Cody or Robin sightings, the K&R sightings out in Arizona, Flagstaff. Where they see Cody and Robin out, and they would ask like, James, what would you do if you ran into Cody and Robin in public?" And this is my response, and I will give this episode as an example of why. My response is, if I saw Cody and Robin in the street, what would I say to them? Nothing. I don't have nothing to say to them. Would I get mad at them? No. Do I feel any kind of way about it? No. You know why? Because at the end of the day, Christina's proving why you have to kind of measure yourself in how you approach other people's business. Because people will get you feeling so strong about running up on Cody because of how he treated the family and all that other stuff and the things he said and the things he's done and get y'all worked up and crazy. Then those same people, Christine, Janelle, Mary, the same ones that he supposedly took advantage of, went over on and the whole nine, did all these things to, are the same ones who are on TV now talking about what a good man he is and how he's a good person and how deep down he was a good dude, how he started as a good dude. He must be going through some tough things. That's why he's not good anymore, because he's going through some hard things. But deep down, he's a good guy. That's Mary said. This same season. So you telling me that I should go there, see Cody in the street, and potentially go to prison? Because, Cody, if I run up on Cody calling the cops. I do something to Cody ass, he calling the cops. And rightfully so. He should call the police. That's what he should do. Okay, because he has a right not to be assaulted. Okay, you should call the cops on my ass if I did something to him. But while I'm sitting here talking about like jeopardizing myself, put myself, my family at risk, the people who I'm supposedly defending aren't asking for my defense and don't feel that the offense that they've suffered rises to the level of me responding or anybody responding in any kind of way. And this is one of the problems that I think the show is going to encounter. I think this is one of the problems that the show is going to encounter, because as they're trying to draft the wives into rehabilitating Cody's image, you're not going to make Cody's image better because we've had 20 seasons of watching him treat the kids and these women like dog water. We've had 20 seasons of that. And now to have them go back and say, no, you guys misunderstood it. Cody's always been a good guy. Then if Cody was a good guy, there's only a couple options. Option one, you guys have been lying about Cody. You and TLC have been lying about Cody. And Robin, because Cody is a good man and he said that Robin's a good woman, so Robin must be misunderstood too. We got to give Robin the same grace. So Robin and Cody are actually the golden couple on the show, and the rest of you guys are the evil motherfuckers. Or you guys are lying again because you want to keep the show going. And you're willing to allow him to mistreat you, talk shit about you, talk down to you. And we all supposed to pretend like these things didn't happen, which makes us complicit in the abuse. That makes us complicit in the mistreatment. And I don't know too many people who are going to be okay with that. Because in order for me to say, look past all the shit Cody did and pretend like he didn't do it and he's actually a good person and treat him like a good person now because you guys need to keep the money coming in, so I'm going to pretend like he's a good dude, then I'm basically saying everything he did was okay. And I don't feel comfortable with that. And David want to go hang out with him because, because of the show or because, Christine said that they need to be friends. They should be best buddies because she likes David and she used to like Cody and she thinks that they'll be good together. That matchmaking bullshit. Then that doesn't make sense. Why am I mad? You said he's a good dude. Why am I mad? That kind and like even just the pairing of it. That kind of reminds me. I remember there was a young lady I knew in college. And clearly I'm a black guy. And she had a black friend. And she just assumed that because she like me and I'm a black guy and she had a black friend who was a black woman that we we were compatible. And she tried to put us together. And the point is like I met a friend, hey, how you doing? There was nothing going on. Like she didn't like me, I didn't like her. It was just, it's mutual. But we liked her. And the thing was that I can be cool with you and she could be cool with you, but that don't mean we're going to be cool with each other. Just because the only thing David and Cody have in common in that situation is Christine. And I don't want to sit here and talk about my wife with her ex. So that's a dummy do. But again, that's all part of the rehabilitation tour that we're watching. Like this is all part of the rehabilitation thing so that way when TLC dumps a shit ton of money into the Cody and Robin spinoff, it actually has legs and potentially can go somewhere, as opposed to them dumping a bunch of money into two characters that most of the fan base don't like. And so they probably won't watch this show. They're trying to make them likable enough that people can watch their show. And there's a possibility that TLC might have leveraged Christine and David and even Mary and Janelle by saying, look, if we can't give all of you a spinoff, then we won't give any of you a spinoff. So that incentivizes them to try to go back and rehabilitate Cody enough to where he can get his own show. And maybe there's a possibility that Christine or Janelle, Mary, or the kids might pop up on Cody and Robin's show because they need that assistance. So I'm just saying. I just think that it does a disservice. It does, like that whole thing tonight. I think it does way more harm than good. That's like my one big takeaway from this particular episode. Like it wasn't so much like, oh, it's so interesting, so fascinating. I just think that the push that they gave Christine and the march orders that they gave Christine just makes her less credible and thereby makes her less likable as a character. And I think that it's a very slippery slope because like Christine, like I'm just saying, like there's no permanence and there's no duty that the fan base has to you to where they if they watch the show and they appreciate what you went through that they have to like you and they always have to support you. If you're doing things that they can't support or they can't get behind, then you could lose your support on the show too. Like Cody and Robin are in a situation they're in, not because they're just terrible, horrible people and we just can't stand them because they're Cody and Robin. The reason why Cody and Robin are not liked on the show is because of their behavior on the show, because of the way they acted on the show, because of the way they treated the fan base on the show and the family and the wives on the show. It's nothing to do with just because we looked at him and said, he's married to how many wives? And we don't like him. And he's treating the young wife better than he's treating the old 3 wives. Oh, no, we don't like him. We don't like how he acted, the way he responded to things, the things that he said. And if you start acting a certain way that the fan base can't support, or you start saying a bunch of things that the fan base can't believe or support, or you say things which contradict previous statements that you've made, and those statements are the very fabric of your support, the reason why people are supporting you because you are married to a horrible man. And they sympathize with you because they thought you were a good person married to a horrible man. But if you're saying that he wasn't a horrible man and he's in fact a good man, then wouldn't that make you a horrible person for making a good man seem like a bad man? For riding the tidal wave of bad feeling and bad sentiment that the fan base had towards Cody and Robin when you wanted to leave Cody. Because it was okay that Cody was an asshole when you were trying to leave him and trying to walk away with your house money. It was okay when you were trying to take your daughter away from Cody and move to a different state. It was okay that he was a bad man then. But now that you have everything that you want, now all of a sudden he's a good dude. And that's part of the problem. Like that's part of the connective problem that I have with that particular statement. If he's a good dude, then you're denying your daughter a relationship with a good man. I don't think he's a good man, but just from what I saw on the show, I don't think he's a good man. But if you're saying you know him better than I do, you've experienced him more than I have in intimate ways and interpersonally. So I'll take your word for it. You said he's a good man. Why would you take your daughter away from a good man? Why would you take your daughter away from a good father? A man who has the potential to be a good father if you made your daughter available to him. And these are the and I'm not even asking these questions genuinely, but I'm just saying that when you're making these kind of statements, you open yourself up for those kinds of criticisms and those types of questions. But let's take a look at what everybody has to say, and we can close this bad boy out because I don't want to keep you guys up too late. We already went for 2 hours and some change. So let me see. Go to the super chats. Oh no, Declan 3 gifted one my Take On Reality membership. What? I gotta get one of them. Boom, boom, boom. Declan 3, thank you so much. Negla has been a big supporter of the show. Appreciate you, Negla. She calls in. For those who don't know, Negla will sometimes call in on up. I think she's only missed like maybe 1 or 2 out of roundtables. But for the members, because she gifted the membership, we do run a roundtable on Saturdays. Again, I'm just trying to work out. I'm trying to figure out how to do some different things on YouTube so that I can put videos out and those videos will work. But I will be adding additional content to the channel, so it won't just be a sister wives centralized sister wife channel. We're going to talk about more things. I've tried to do it in different ways and it hasn't quite worked out for me, but I think I've kind of cracked the code, hopefully, and we're going to try to move forward with that. But thank you so much, Negligence Grade. And some of those discussions we're going to have during the round table. So it won't just be if you're kind of sister wifed out, on Saturday during a round table. We talk about everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Okay. We talk about everything. We have really good conversations. So if you guys want to join us for the round table, you remember, that's awesome. But thank you so much, Negligent 3. Let me get a little something, something. Then we had a tie with the $2 super chat. She said, I think Janelle on crew, I think Janelle and crew are getting the show. Yeah, Janelle and the crew are getting the show. Yeah, I think Janelle, I think she's actually situated pretty good because Christine initially, she was like one of the more popular character, the most popular character in the cast. And I say character because of their false or superficial representation on the show, as noted by their recent statements of us not knowing who they are and them being deceptive. So she has the most likable character on the show. Janelle comes in a strong second all the time. And sometimes it flops between Janelle and Christine. But the way Janelle is setting her show up with her potential show, with Peyton, McKelty, Madison, and that group of folks, especially McKelty and Tony, you have a lot of I won't say bomb throwers, but you got folks who will come in and drop truth bombs, or at least from their perspective, and they're not afraid to be provocative. They're not afraid to talk. These folks are not camera shy. None of them are camera shy. So you have that. And I think that would accentuate a potential show from Janelle. So ironically, I think that out of all of them, Janelle has the best opportunity. Christine had extremely high ratings for her wedding. And I think that gives a false start or a false impression of the viability of her show. Because if I'm going to be all the way honest, I'm not really interested in watching a 50-plus-year-old woman talk about her new found discovery of monogamous relationships, right? It's new to her and it's fascinating to her and it's interesting to her, and there are parts of it that are interesting and things that she might discover or talk about. But even right now, all she's basically saying about being a monogamous is so weird, waking up to just one person or only having to deal with one person. And the two of them, like between David and Christine, God love them. Their relationship seems to be going very well. But what they're saying is basically, I really like spending time with you, and it's amazing that I like spending time with you. Who you should like spending time with your husband and your wife. It's not, you know what I mean? Maybe that's something that you guys don't necessarily practice in the AUB because you have like these short term like courtships or whatever. But typically, that's what you want to shoot for if you're getting married in like the rest of the civilized world. Like when you get married, it's expected you guys have some type of relationship bond or tie with the person that you married. And you don't marry a person because they were kind of cute in church one time and you guys looked at each other 3 times. He introduced you. You went to your house, shook hands with your dad. They sat down for 10 minutes and he said, "Can I start courting your daughter?" Then next thing you know, you making wedding plans. Like, yeah, you might not feel as strong towards that person or committed to that person. And you wind up getting divorced after 25 years and 6 kids. But she's basically on a stage where the challenge with Christine is that we're watching somebody who has never really had a boyfriend. So David is the second guy that she really dated. Really the first guy that she authentically dated. The first person that she kind of dated, because she's had 2. first person she kind of dated was Cody. And Cody was just, like I said, it was more, they were hanging out at church. He said he thought he was kind of interested in her. They didn't go out on dates. He started courting her for marriage. So basically, they were working as engaged people towards marriage. And then they got married. She didn't kiss him except for over the altar. So she first kiss was over the altar when she got married. Then she maybe kissed a couple guys between the time she left Cody, maybe even banged a couple people out. I don't know. But her actual long-term relationship was with David. This is her first real relationship, if we're going to be honest. Like, her relationship with Cody is a little askew because of the short term and the way that it was set up. But her first long-term relationship in the the open civilized world outside of the AUB is David. And that's why so much of these like elementary or basic things that maybe somebody in high school or grade school would be like, oh, he's so nice. He opened the door for me, girl. I got there. Guess what? We went in, he paid for the movie tickets, and he got me a popcorn. Guess what size? Large. Then I got my own drink. And he paid for that. Then when we left, guess what, girl? He's a true gentleman because he opened the door for me and he opened the car door for me and let me in. When he dropped me off in my house, he didn't just pull up and swing the door open. No, he parked the car, got out, walked around the car, walked me to my door, held the door open, walked me to my door, and treated me like a true gentleman. Oh my goodness. Like, basic stuff. Like, you don't get extra credit because you did any of that. You know what I mean? That's to be expected. So I don't know how successful that particular show is going to be. Cody and Robin, we'll do Jen and Mary first. Jen and Mary, that shit is hit or miss. Because buddy shows very rarely work out just because they have to have, one of the things that we had talked about on Saturday is, as we explore the idea of these pilot shows, right? What the pilots or the series or the show is going to look like. The one question that you always have to ask if you're on a production side is ultimately, what is this show going to be about? What is this show going to be about? What is Christine's show going to be about? Her new relationship with David. How much interest is there? We'll see. Janelle working the land, trying to get the finances together, dealing with the kids, the family, adult children, grandbabies, their different personalities. There's a lot of stuff that could happen there. Mary dating new people, trying to expand on her love life, buddy show. Her and Jen cracking jokes about sex stuff, saying inappropriate things and then apologizing for it and laughing like it's hysterical. Then, of course, you have Cody and Robin, supposed to be the love story. My question is, every story has to have a conflict. Where is the conflict going to come from with Christine and David? Are they going to do the Cody and Robin victim grief grift, where all of a sudden, like, we're the victims and we need money because everybody hates love and they don't want to support our love? Like, are they going to do that? And I don't think that'll go over well. Are they going to argue with each other? Are people going to tell them that they shouldn't be married? They've already been married for 4 years now. Are they going to reveal that they're having problems in their relationship and that's where the struggle or conflict is going to come from? I don't think that they're going to do that either. So I don't know if a show about happiness is not going to last. Same thing with Cody and Robin. A show about how much you would love this woman, how much you're in love with this woman. That's great that you say that, but at the end of the day, that's not a show. The one thing that I will say, and then I'll let you guys go, but the one thing I will say that I talked about during the round table, but before I do that, let me give Ty a little something before I get too far afield. The one thing I will say is that most people, and I'm including myself in this, most people could never have a reality show. I couldn't have a reality show because honestly, my life's not as exciting enough for a reality show. You're gonna watch the same shit, watch me do the same stuff, same work stuff, same thing here, like all the time. I'm just, you know, trying to develop habits, maybe go to the gym, doing stuff like that, working, talking to my kids. It's not gonna be, we don't have like high drama. Most people don't live high drama lives. And if you're not a toxic person or you try not to be a toxic person, you're not surrounded by a bunch of drama and a bunch of arguments and people backstabbing you and but a lot of struggling, you know. So usually when you have reality shows, the people that you get for reality shows are usually train wrecks. They're a train wreck. There's a dumpster fire inside a train wreck, right? And all of it's a shit show. That's usually the people that they hire for reality shows. And that's the story that they have to tell. Christine married Janelle, Cody Robin, they had a story to tell because, frankly, polygamy is messy. So there's a story there. How do they do it? How do they live? How do wives exist with each other? There's natural conflicts which occur just because you're trying to put round holes or round pegs in square holes. You understand? It's just not fitting. So there's natural conflicts. It's trying to incorporate people into the family. Natural conflicts. What are the conflicts that they're having? And even if you could cite conflicts, it's not just about the conflicts they're having. What conflict are they willing to share on a show? To have people, because once it's shared on the show, people are going to not only watch it, but they're going to criticize it. They're going to question it. They're going to talk about it. How much of this are they willing to have discussed on the show? And to be honest with you, I haven't seen from any of them the willingness to share anything of substance that make people want to actually tune in to watch a show. Even with Mary telling jokes to Jen, like, you guys aren't comedians. So it's not like watching Two Broke Chicks or what's the other shows, like, other female cast driven shows, comedy shows. Like, you guys just ain't there. So it's just, I don't know. I just don't think I just don't think it works. So I'll be curious to see what TLC does. But here's the thing too, and we're going to keep it all the way honest. They need new blood and a new concept, new format. Yeah. And that's part of like the whole thing that they have to work out. They have to work out what the show is going to be about, where the conflicts are, the willingness of the cast to film. The big problem that TLC has is actually several fold. TLC will roll out dumbass shows. They don't care. They'll roll out shows that are doomed to fail because it's TLC. Apparently, they got plenty of money. Kick some money my way, I'll help you out. But the reason why, like, for instance, I'm not watching 90 Day Fiance anymore is because TLC is no longer in the reality show business. TLC is in the creation and maintenance of social media personalities. So they're trying to build people who basically can go on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and get brand deals. That's why the people are signing up to do TLC shows. They're not trying to show their relationship, demonstrate their life and lifestyle. They're just trying to show up, get their faces on TV so they can get people to follow them on their social media so that they can get brand deals. And they're willing to do anything or present themselves any kind of way that TLC wants them to so that they can secure a brand deal and so that they can get money from social media. And TLC doesn't care. So they give them a bunch of scripts, a bunch of storylines that frankly don't make any sense. And that's why so many shows, in my opinion, on TLC are failing. Because the show don't make sense and they're just not authentic. And unfortunately, I think Sister Wives has fallen into that category. When they first came out, part of their charm wasn't the fact that they were just unpolished. Wasn't the fact that they seemed more homely, more accessible, more friendly, more like the people next door. What made them popular was the fact that they felt authentic. They felt like they were being real. It didn't feel rehearsed. It didn't feel put together. It didn't feel much like a lie, right? Now, everything that they say and everything that they do, everything they present feels like a lie, just feels disingenuous. Down to Christine and Mary calling Cody a good man and saying that deep down he's a good person. And, why is everybody treating him wrong? Because he's a good person. And you guys just have him wrong because you didn't understand who he was, even though you watched him for the last 20 seasons. And here's a secret, boo-boo. When you sign up for a show, like a reality show, there's sometimes where people are going to love you, sometimes people are going to hate you. And the thing is that they're not going to change how they feel about you if they spent 20 seasons investing in a show, developing this feeling or this perspective about this particular character, only to have you come back and say, no, y'all got it wrong. Y'all should like him. He cool. We're not going to change our minds about him. Unfortunately, and I'm giving this as a warning to the wives, take it or leave it. You don't care what I say. It is what it is. But they may not change their feelings about Cody and Robin, but they most certainly potentially could change their feelings about how they feel about you. Just saying. Reality Unrider, join the channel, become a member, click the join button to access the perks. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. And then we also had the Speak Pipe. So if you guys want to leave a message for Speak Pipe, some of you may disagree with some of the things that I said tonight, which is fine, because on this channel right here, you guys are more than welcome to have and voice your opinions. Like, I am not one of those people. I'm not a sensitive soul that can't take a little bit of criticism or you guys disagreeing with me. If you're spending time here, I'm open to the criticism. I'm open to the observations. If you guys disagree with something I say, that's fine. I'm not one of those people. I mean, I will push back if I think that, there's a discussion there to be had. I will, have that discussion or invite you to have that back and forth. But I'm not kicking people because, James, I think you have it wrong. In my opinion, blah, blah, blah. Okay. At this point, it's all opinions. Okay, because I don't know them personally. They ain't my friends. They ain't like we sitting around on the, having barbecues and drinking beers. You know what I'm saying? Cody, what's going on in your life, brother? Like, and like I said, with them saying now that they're being dishonest, we could all have it wrong. Maybe Cody is awesome. Maybe we have it wrong because the wives are saying that Cody is amazing. And I would say to the wives, if we have it wrong about Cody, maybe y'all got it wrong about Robin. Maybe Robin's awesome too. Maybe we just all got it all wrong. Silly. But according to the show, they're jerks. So I'm going to stick with that. All right. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. I'll take a look at tonight's thing if I can put it out. I have a video up that I put out. If you guys haven't seen, I think it was live last week. Cut some of that down, and I'm going to start doing that for smaller content. But you guys check that out. I'm also going to put some new content out. I have some things in the work, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I appreciate you. Want to give a huge shout out to Lizzie B, Brittany and Carmel Cuties, the Mega Mod Squad, holding the player down, as well as some of the folks who kicked in for the show with some super treat. Appreciate you. YouTube is my time machine. Brittany in the house. The Mega Mod. Megatron in the house. As well as Negla 3, of course. Negla 3, Lizzie B coming through. And we had Ty. And how could I forget? Michelle Wood in the house. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Let me give everybody, you guys, as well as everybody in the chat, a little something. Appreciate you guys. Well, thank you so much. I wanted to try to keep this as short as possible because it's getting kind of long in the tooth. But thank you all for hanging out with me. We're going to be back next week. We're going to be back on Tuesday where we're going to do the call-in show where you guys can call in 7 p.m. That way everybody has an opportunity to watch the episode and be able to come up with their own analysis of what they saw. I might have to do some separate videos just to kind of nail down some of my thoughts as far as like some of the things that I saw in this particular episode. But then on Thursday, we're going to do the Speak Pipe show. So if you want to leave a message for Speak Pipe, hit me up at speakpipe.com/mytakeonreality. Leave a minute and a half message. You can leave as many as you want. But if you want to leave a message, leave that message. If you want me to talk about it, but you don't want to necessarily give your name or maybe you don't want it played, just tell me before, like right when you start. Like, hey, James, this is between us, or don't play this on the thing. I don't mind if you talk about it, but here are my thoughts. You can leave as many messages as you want. And then I'll just give a general description of what you asked or commented on, and then give my reaction. And again, you don't have to leave your name if you don't want to. We do anonymous messages as well. All right, it's just another way for you guys to be able to participate in the conversation. If you're a member, we also have the roundtables on Saturday. All right, but thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Appreciate you taking the time. Hopefully, I mean, this episode wasn't bad. It's kind of turning the corner. I can feel it want to get better, but it's not quite there yet. It's not done yet. Got to put it back in the oven. Got to close the lid to the grill. Okay, if you're smoking, you don't never lift the grill until it's done. But grill, you got to lift it up, maybe check it, flip it a little bit, flip it. So we're at that point. It's not ready to get flipped yet. Okay, so I'm not ready to flip the switch and say that it's getting good, but it's trying. All right. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Thank you to the Mega Mods, Brittany, Caramel Cuties, and the Mega Mod, Lizzie B. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Have a great night. I will talk to you.